I never really felt like I had like my own thing. It's so nice to just be a part of it. And it's just like a meeting spot. It's a kickback. It's a Laylow.
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 Laid back. It's very on the down low.
Yo, you guys want to go to Laylow?
So, what is Laylow to you?
We wanted it to convey a certain vibe. We wanted to convey passion and authenticity with this place.
The place kind of flowed through that because it was so genuine.
Laylow is definition of intersectionality in the arts and in community.
I'd say it's like our connection with the community. They don't feel like it's just a bar when they come here. And I think that it's because they've recognized the authenticity that Dan and I have spent so long trying to convey here.
You made a space that just feels like home, and people don't have to be anything else but themselves when they're here. You know, because people find new friends here. You know what I mean? Whether it's one or many, or they find new music here, or you know what I mean, something.
The vibe that you chose to kind of pursue and achieved really hit home with a lot of the folks that I came up with. It's really more important to me to find the like-minded folks and being able to sit down at a bar, whether I'm alone or not.
Yeah, mine is basically, it's home. That's what it is. Like, as soon as I walked in here the first time, met Dan, started arguing with him, started arguing with you, music. Everybody's on the same page. I didn't have to argue with some other person about whatever the fuck it is they're listening to. It was just straight up like, we're listening to real hip hop. The hip hop, the vibe, everything about it is just home.
Whenever I played here, it never felt like work. And for the most part, none of my gigs really feel like work, but this definitely just felt like home. The fact you guys bring it back to the roots and to the humble beginnings, like, it meant a lot to me.
I worked all kinds of jobs. I did everything. I got the opportunity to do my first shift here, and that was a wrap. I was like, this is it. I was like, yo, hip hop all the time, beer, like chill people, bringing my homies and shit. Like, I was like, it's easy,
You just feel welcomed here. It's like, it almost feels like it's partially my spot.
And like you actually said, like, play what you want, like play what you like to play. And I was just like, all right. What you said, it's like home. And then it's like, you can go anywhere else, but then you always come back home.
Yeah.
And then you reset.
I've always struggled to find a place that kind of I belonged, in the city. The thing that kind of stood out for me is that you welcomed me and you reached out to me, you asked me to come in, and as soon as I stepped in, we vibed instantly.
Your mind is blown pretty much when you arrive and you experience all the amazing art and history and stories and conversations and arguments and disagreements and just love, really, at the end of the day. So
It's always about trying to create the kind of space that we would want to go to ourselves, that we would want to be in.
Every community kind of needs that kind of like space and hub for people to kind of constantly know that they're welcome.
Coming into this space did for me, well, I don't know, man, it took me to the next level. The thing about this space was just perfect for where I needed to be at that point in time in my life.
Pretty of salt. So the pink stuff.
And what is your fondest memory of Laylow?
Mine was definitely meeting Dan for the first time. I didn't even know you were the owner when I walked in. I was just like, what the fuck? This guy's so cool. And then he came and actually met me at the job that I was working at that time and offered me the job. I'm like, the owner came to see me.
To have a spot to paint it, to see one thing lead to the next. I think this space was like, when you manifest something, you get it, it can materialize, and this was like one of those things. I'm like, fuck, he did it. And then being able to paint the wall was just like my physical touch to a physical manifestation that you created.
Definitely every anniversary. To me, it's not about DJing for thousands of people. It's about DJing for a small room that all vibe out to what you're vibing out to. Yeah, and those are the times when I'm DJing that I get the chills and that I remember that I'm like, that's why I'm fucking doing this.
after his playoff game. It was the stupidest I've ever seen it in here. It was wall to wall. Like, forget fire codes, forget everything. Like, it was bodies on bodies. And when then we threw on the J-Rock. The J-Rock came on, the room went. that was insane. And that was actually just like and everybody in here was all a part of the culture.
I think I did like a little Tribe Called Quest kind of colorway, like a small one. And you're like, yo, why don't we put that on the wall? And immediately I was like, yeah, it was a dope experience.
I'll say for me, this inspired me too, and I bet anybody else that walks in here.
Thank you.
To not only come here and enjoy the space, but create.
I've been a patron of the space since you opened, and I was so blown away by the level of intention, first of all. Realizing there's so many mutual connections. So every night always felt like a family, like time and gathering space. But one thing I will thank you for again, Dan, is Laylow was the first space I played my first gig post-pandemic this past summer. So thank you for that, because it was nice to get back out.
I always say like some of my favorite nights when we cancel the show because there's nobody here. And then
all the comics would still show up.
Yeah, all the comics would say we would just get wasted on Lightworks. Those are the second best nights. The best nights were like packed show, everyone was killing, it was so fun. We had like crazy good guests on too, like Dave Merhaj and Burrito and stuff, so.
Dude, the Studio Monk album release party was a blessed night, because it started with you coming to the screening, and then like we brought all those people here, and the energy was even more fun, and then like it just continued to just be like this thing, and that feeling every time.
The fact that this was my first in-person show, and you invited me in with open arms, and it meant so much to just have the opportunity to play in person in front of a crowd and actually read the room.
I remember Switch B's birthday, Switch B and Fate B's birthday. And that was just like, holy, like everyone was here, we knew everyone, it was just a great vibe. And then, just knowing that I can always come back to this spot.
I think one that stands out for me, it was my boy Goose's birthday. But that one was wild because it was like, everybody that I knew from high school, from b-boying, from hip-hop, everyone's just in the same building. And now when I tell you, like, we couldn't leave the bar because there was just so many bodies in the way. Like, if we needed to go get glassware down on the main floor, we actually had to walk out the back door, go down the stairs, and kind of just like sneak our way in, and then do the same thing to get back. And it was non-stop. So to me, that was probably one of the most legendary nights here. Yeah.
At the time, I was very excited to share new music. Having Laylow be the release party for this music that I curated with All In, Can We Take the Paragon Keys, was like a dream come true for me. And my first experience at Laylow was actually my 26th birthday. And I brought like, how many people? Maybe 50 people through. And that for me was like the energy that I wanted to carry over into performing live music here for the first time.
So the first time I came is when he did, I think it was an after party when he aired the documentary. And I was just like, yo, this place is a vibe, everything just about it, the art, just the hip hop music. And I'm not a big crowd person, so like when I find a tight spot where the vibe is right, like I remember it, right?
So once you came in here, you just knew it was like, you felt that everybody was genuine, Everybody was just having a good time, you know what I mean? It doesn't need to be 100% packed.
Yeah, it's just a vibe. And
it's a vibe.
This space it's kind of just a bit of like a chameleon. We can have battles, we can have DJs, we can have private parties, we can do, food pop-ups. It's kind of like, it just has to be like a bit of everything. But at its core, it is a bar because we do make beer. And it's kind of cool to like introduce people to really home style brews in a intimate, dim lit space that's not your typical brewery, which most people would not assume we're a brewery, because everyone always asks, like, where's the brewery? It's in the kitchen. Well, can I see it? Like, no, it's a stove. There's nothing to see. It's no tour. So I think like just kind of taking away that kind of stigma of what breweries are and what everyone thinks they're supposed to be, and that cookie cutter example of any brewery, just like throw that out the window and just be present and accept anyone new who wants to come by.